Hi everyone, thanks for coming this talk. I hope you enjoy from yesterday and today's talk as well. So my topic is nested navigation in Flutter Web. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Renuka Kelkar. I work as a DevRel advocate at Invertis. Along with this, I'm a Google developer expert for Flutter, and I'm the founder for the Tech Power Girls community. And all this thing apart, I am an organizer for the Google Developer Group London, and I'm a Women TechMaker ambassador. So as I told you that I'm a founder of the Tech Power Girls community, so let me give you some little brief about my community and my initiative. So the Tech Power Girls is a community specially created for the women who are having the 5+ years of gap in their IT career. It seems like that, when women took a gap from their career for any reason, and if they want to come back again, they struggle a lot. And that's the thing where I want to help the women to empower them into the IT world through the Flutter app development. So we started this initiative, and we have along 1,000+ women we have already supported for this, and So we expanded this initiative to teach, as I'm a bias because I'm from India, so I thought that I should give something back to the India. So we go into the rural part of the India, and then we teach the Flutter with the local language so that this student can grasp easily and they can learn Flutter app development. So this is the initiative I have started, and the next slide is all about this kind of initiative. I have done this initiative for India, but now from last 2 years as a GDG London organizer, we are organizing the Flutter Dev Camp, and we help the students, people, professionals from we are bringing the experts from the community, and they teach them good practices, what the actual functionality when you're learning the Flutter. So we taught, and we are doing this third cohort for the Flutter Dev Camp, and this year we won the award for that, a diversity and inclusion award from the Google for this year. So I think that should be always I should keep this slide in my presentation now. I'm so proud of that actually. So talking about the navigation. So why we use the navigation? We want to navigate from one page to another page. There is a UX perspective about when you develop any navigation in your application. Is it mobile or is it web? Anything. So you use the nested navigation, or you use the sidebar navigation, bottom bar navigation, and how you can give the user, how you can create a user journey to reach to the particular page basically. So there are different styles and different kind of functionality. Nowadays you can see that there is a sticky bar on the top of the websites, right? So it will be all the time whenever you go through any pages, that bar is always there. So how this functionality, it is a very fundamental functionality for web development, but how this functionality works when you think about the Flutter basically. So that is my topic. Today's topic is about that. So when I was thinking about the navigation in Flutter Web, so I think 3 years back they introduced the Navigator 2. Before that we used to have the Navigation 1, where we just have the navigator, a navigator.push, push replacement or pop, all this stuff, but there was some kind of functionality we needed, as that it is not using for the deep linking, or it is not storing the states, and that gives a problem when we do the Flutter web navigation. So Flutter team has introduced the Navigator 2, and when something is introduced newly to you, that it is a learning graph for everyone, that how to use that. And in a Flutter community there was a buzz that, Navigator 2 is very complex, we don't want to use that, and we are struggling to use that basically. And that's where the friends from the community, they are bringing their own packages. So these are the popular packages for when you want to use the Navigator 2, not the pure Navigator 2, but packages which helps you to use in your Flutter app development. So these are the popular packages, and these are the Flutter favorite packages. So I am a very, if you have seen this Curious George, so I am a Curious George, okay, Google is saying that, okay, these are the favorite packages. Is it really favorite for the audience? It is really favorite for the people who are using it. Google saying yes, but what about the reality? So that's why I tried to use these packages, and after that, I have given my own feedback, my own experience, and talking through that with the Craig on the Boring Show. I think, have you seen this Boring Show episode for the Go router with the navigation? Is anybody has seen this? Okay, that's great. So when I created this, the purpose of creating this topic on the Boring Show is that they want to show the reality that everything is not the greener all the time. There are the problems, right? And we always struggle with the problems. And we have shown this, there are really have a big problem when you use the Go router. Because they are saying it's a favorite package, but still it's having a problem. And we are just waiting for the updates from the Go router. And there was many changes going through the Google itself, and people who has created this package left the Google, and all this stuff going on behind the scene. And we are worried, okay, what's the next thing? Who is anybody going to update or not, or all these things? And we talk about this on this video, on this show. And I'm really happy that they are taken as a serious note about this, and they have come up with the new updates for the Go router. So again, my Curious George mind always okay, now they are saying we are updated the new version, why not again try that, and let's see if they have come up really good solution or not. So this is all about the Go router then. So have you used the Go router? Yeah, okay, that's a great thing. So Go router is a declarative routing package for Flutter to uses the router API. So you can use this URL-based API for navigating between the pages. You can define the URL patterns here, navigating using a URLs, and handle the deep linking. So these are the features. It's already on the documentation. It's not my words, it's their documentation word. So let's see, we can explore more how it works basically. So when you want to use the, I'm giving a little bit overview how to use it, who hasn't used it before that. So when you want to use it, the Go router in Flutter, so you just not use the material app as a constructor, but you have to use the material app dot router as a constructor, and you can pass the router config. So I have created the global class. The Go router instance should use to be declared as a global variable, and then you can pass this object to the material app basically. So this is a simple implementation with the Go router. So you are getting when you implement the Go router, it gives you some parameters, you can set up the initial routes. It gives a list of the routes which you want to navigate basically, and where you can display the path and the pages which you want to connect with that link basically. So this is a simple implementation. So another thing in Go router is what the Go versus push. So that is another again confusion, where to use the Go context.go or where to use the context.push. So this is the article I'm sharing the link about the Andres article about this. He has given a really good explanation where to use and what to use. So basically when you use the Go, it always navigate to the directly to the destination where you want to navigate. Basically here, if I want to go to on the detail page to the model page, when you use the Go, it will directly come up to the model from the root file to the destination root basically. But when you use the push works with aligned to the navigator 1. So it's creating the stacks. Whatever page you are before that, it is putting the stack on that, and it will give you the stack of the pages, and you can reach to your destination. So this is the comparison between the go and push. So the next thing is that the redirect. I think this is a really good features for the Go routers, that when you are using any kind of state management and you want to build any kind of logic behind when you direct to any kind of page navigation, then you can write your logic inside there as well. So how you can redirect directly to the particular page, like you can using the signing or login page, and you can redirect that to the direct page basically. Similarly to other thing, like when you do the navigation, you sometimes need to pass the parameters. So here you can see here that how you can set up send the parameter through the Go router. I'm not going to deep into this. Basically, this is the my core topic is for the nested navigation, because there the everything is stuck basically. So similarly to the parameter, you can send the path parameter as well. So you can send ID and you can navigate from that. Another thing is for the sub routes, like when you think about the routing, then you need to understand how to do the sub routing. So you can see when you can use the Go router, when I use the Go router, you can create the routes inside the routes. Basically, here I have created the Go router as my initial route. Inside that, I have another parameter as a routes, and that I have given as like a path ID and the campaign screen. So you can create the sub route inside the Go route basically. So that is also tick mark that okay, Go router supports the sub routes as well. So now the nested navigation. So when you think about the nested navigation, what are the widgets you can think in your mind, or what are the design you can think in the mind? Is that okay, I can do like a row and column widgets, and I can create my nested navigation, or I can use the navigation rail, or I can use the bottom navigation. Some people want to use the drawer, and some like using any third-party packages which helps to create the navigation in Flutter. So what is the role of the Go router? Is it compatible with all these widgets, or it is a compatible or go along with all these things? If I want to use the Go router, should I use all these things in my application or not? So let's check that. So if you see whatever widget I have mentioned before, you can see that there is a common area. When you think about the nested navigation, there is some part of your web app or web page which is common. So you can see if I want to create any sidebar navigation, then my sidebar is remain constant there for all the pages. It's a similar way you can have the top navigation bar or bottom navigation bar, which is common for all the pages. So in Go router, you can think about it is called as a shell route. So which is a shell created around that what you want to build it. So let's understand what is a shell route. So after our boring show, they have introduced this shell route, because we were like discussing on this boring show, okay, shell route works this way or not that way, something like that conversation was there on that show. So this shell route supports the multiple navigation stacks. So how it works basically? So here you can see that. So first is the shell route, like is a outer component about this, and then inside that you can see the routes, and where you can view the another Go routes basically. So here is the key is that you have to create a different global key, and you can pass that key to the navigator key. Basically, you can see here I have given the root navigator key to the root of the Go router, and then you can see that the separate navigator key is a shell navigator key is assigned to the shell route. So the when you want to use the shell route, you can use you can give the different keys, and along that it can understand which is the shell route and where the pages can align basically. So this is how the structure for the shell routes. So now it was for the new updates from the Go router, they have introduced the stateful shell route. How many people are here who have already experiment with this? Is anybody here who has already done coding with this? Okay, that's great. Then this talk is really useful for everyone then. So, so for the stateful shell route, when you think about just normal shell route, what is happening? It's solving the purpose of the nested navigation, but it is not preserving any state of that page. And that is causing the problem. And I think that was the open issue in the GitHub repo for them from long period of time. So I think they thought that, okay, so many people are asking the same question and again, we can do this, solve this problem. And they come up with this stateful shell route. And that was the key point what for me as well to again deep dive what is this stateful shell route, how it works and other stuff basically. So in this stateful shell route, what is happening? Whatever pages you are building in the stack of the pages for the shell route, it is preserving the state of that particular page. So let me give you the. Okay, I will give you because I'm not using my own laptop here, so I couldn't show you the live demo. So let me give you explain that in after my another slides. So a stateful shell route have some kind of keywords or some kind of widgets which you have to understand first. So first thing is that stateful navigator shell. So stateful shell route has an argument of the stateful navigation shell which managing the state for that particular shell route. So this is a very important I can show you in the code as well. The another thing is that the stateful shell branch, just like you have any kind of navigation and you have a different kind of tabs, like for bottom navigation we have a tabs. For the stateful shell route they have the stateful shell branch. It's a similar way how many links you have in the page, it has a particular stateful shell branch for each and every link basically. That's how it works. It represents the separate branch for the stateful navigation tree used to configure the stateful shell route. So this is the about the branch. So now let's understand the hierarchy of the route, like how it works. So in GoRouter, you can use a stateful shell route, and inside that you can have the stateful state branch, and inside that you can have the go route and then sub route. So this is how you can have the hierarchy for this. The another thing, let's see the code now. So here you can see here that I'm using the stateful shell route, and I'm using the I can explain about the index stack as well, but it here you can see the we are returning the scaffold with the nested navigation, and we are passing the navigation shell. So this is the key. If have you used any kind of shell route before for the Go router for any bottom navigation or anything? Yeah, so it used to be like you have to do so many manipulation that your widget should be killed and again update that widget, and all this stuff is going behind the scene when you want to implement. Still it was saying that it's very easy rather than just using the pure navigated tool, but it was the that kind of coding you have to do behind the scene for that to implement that. But now that thing is completely they take care of that. So here the navigation shell, we are passing the navigation shell, and I can show you the code for the stateful. Okay, so here I'm using the stateful shell route index stack. So normally when you use the any nested navigation, it's a stack of the pages, right? So they have created this stateful shell route index stack widget. So where you have to pass the navigation shell. So how it works basically. So here you can see I can directly pass the navigation shell to the body. So you don't need to create that, update the widget or kill the widget first and then create another. So you don't need to take care of that. Another thing is that the select index. So when you want to have the index, that navigation shell give you that current index of that particular page. So you don't need to put any logic that, okay, I am clicking on that button, I need to show that which is my active button or which is not right now active inactive. So all this stuff they have take care of that basically, and you can see here. So this is the new structure when you want to use to create the scaffold with nested navigation class basically. So now I'm showing you the code how I can't show you the live demo that I mentioned before. So here is I have created the whole program where I have used the shell Go router with the different use cases. Okay, I want to first use the shell route. Okay, that's why here I have used the just like you can see on the video. I am just creating the 2 shell routes inside the page, and it's a simple. There is no preserving any state or anything. It's not going. Okay, so this is the example you can see on the GitHub repo as well for the nested navigation. So here you can see I have increment the counter for each sub pages. So you can see on the detail page A, I am incrementing the counter, and for the another C, I'm just doing the same thing. Let me. So you can see here the counter will be keeping their state persistence. So this is how it works basically to preserve the state of that particular page. Okay, I am not always the fancy to have the nested navigation which is like a normally bottom navigation or other stuff. I want to use third-party packages as well to make my page fancy. So how it works basically? So here in my code I use the collapsible sidebar navigation to make my page fancy. So how it works with that? You have to use again the same thing, stateful shell navigation, and you can use the navigation key, navigation shell. Everything is the same. You just the outer, like the shell route widget, that is only changing here. I can show you the demo as well for this. Again, I want to use the drawer, like it's a very easy way to navigate from the pages. So here you can see that it's a normal drawer, and you can just give the path as a which page you are in, and you can just give the sub navigator path. Like you can keep as a one default page as a navigator, or you can create any base page where you want to display some particular information. So this is how it works for the drawer. So a drawer is tick mark, then bottom navigation is tick mark, then third party package is also tick mark for the Go router. So so navigation rail is also the another example where you can use for the stateful navigation. Right. Okay, I don't put the video. So here is the same thing. You have to just change the scaffold with navigation as that class with the navigation rail, and you can pass the navigation shell as a body to the required parameter here, and everything is the same again. So this is how it works basically. So again, I am not saying that this is the right solution for everyone, because nobody is perfect in the whole world. So there are still some issues for the Go router. You can go and check, and I'm not recommend that like okay, you should go with the Go router only, but go and check the functionality of this package and think about yourself that is it useful for my use cases? Should I use it, or should I use another package like a Beamer or any other where which satisfied my requirement for my project? So this is all about the Go router. I hope you have got little bit information about the Go router with how to use it for the nested navigation. And yeah, this is the article. Andre has done amazing job here. He has written a really good article on this nested navigation. If we can go to check the documentation, I think that documentation is not good at all, but this article is really, really good. So hats off to Andrew. He has created this article and people can understand how to use the nested navigation with the Go router. So I will clap for him definitely. So, and the next thing, like I'm an organizer for the Google Developer Group London. So we are organizing the DevFest London this year on the 18th of November at King's College. So if you are here and you are free on that time, please do come to our event. There are so many nice talks, workshops we are planned for that. So please attend this event. We have given, this is a discount code here. If anybody want to participate in that, you can scan this QR code. It's a discounted code. And we have a booth downstairs for the GDG London, and we are doing a raffle. So if anybody is fancy with the Google stuff, then we are raffling that stuff. So come to and visit our booth. So that's all.